Skeeter, you want to go fishing? Oh my goodness. She stays ready, folks. That's old Skeeter Bug, the fishing dog. Today's going to be a great episode. Welcome back to your Lake Fork Guy, by the way. And we are going to go give a test run on the Humminbird 360 electronics. I'm going to be testing out the different types of electronics to make sure I have the very best setup on my next boat that I have coming at the beginning of the year. So, today's Humminbird 360, we're going to take it, we're going to find some unique structures, some rock piles, some brush, whatever, and we're going to try to find fish within those, and we're going to try to catch them on a jig. That's right, jig fishing in the winter, East Texas, probably some big bass. Maybe not, because sometimes I suck, but probably some big bass, so y'all stay tuned. Oh God. All right, so we're going to pick up my boy BJ Anderson. I'm about to pull into his driveway right now. BJ is the guy. He's my guy. He's got a big, nice Skeeter boat, but he's got a Humminbird 360 rigged up on that boat. So he's been kind enough to let me join in with him today. We're gonna really put this 360 through its paces, and I'm gonna try and get a little bit of footage from every type of electronics. Live scope, the new Lowrance active target, if I can find somebody that has it where I can go use it. I definitely got a live scope one coming. Of course, we'll show you guys a video using our Lowrance electronics this winter as well, which, you know, we do that all the time. But anyways, today is Humminbird 360 day. I'm really interested to see this. It's basically like side scan, but from a bird's eye view, 360 degrees around. It lays out a 360 degree map in the style of side scan, and you guys will get to see some of that today as we're using it. But looks like BJ's all hooked up. I see my boy over there hanging out in his boat, tying up some rods. Hopefully he's tying up jigs, because that's all we're doing today. We just jig fishing. Yeah. What's up? William James.
Talk to me, son.
Got some big gadgets.
The issue is the dude running them.
Wait a minute. Who's running them?
Hey.
Oh, yeah, that might be a problem.
I'm not even good at them.
BJ, you have a hard time sending texts.
I know.
Like, technology's not really your deal, bro.
I think of all my good traits. Whiskey, Copenhagen.
Whiskey, Copenhagen, yeah.
Think of all the good stuff.
Is that where the list ends?
Hey, look at this thing here.
Yeah, exactly. Good subject change. Let me see what you're working with there. Let me see.
Here. This sucker's got some little brownish red in it.
Bring it up tight. Let me see.
Pumpkin on the other side.
It's like an old falcon crawl color.
I dig it.
What is that, a bandito bug?
That's a rage bug.
A rage bug. That's a straight king rage bug. Half-ounce black and blue jig.
I tell you, if I was a big fish, just chilling on a sunny day, by an old stump or something, I'd knock slack in that son of a bitch.
Yeah. Sounds good. Let me get my stuff loaded up. Let's get to the old pond over here and see if we can look at them and then look at them even closer. You know what I mean?
Rods?
Yeah. we're going out to throw a jig. Look at the deck of the boat, folks.
Anybody got any rods?
What are you doing with that upside down pole over there?
Gage was throwing a wacky Cinco at Athens the other day.
Gage is how old's Gage? 8?
9.
9? Gage is 9, yeah. I guess I'll let the upside down pole slide since it was Gage using it.
It's got braid on it. Does that give me bonus? Does that count?
All right, we're out here on the lake, and first thing I can tell you about Humminbird electronics, and the 360 seems to be no different. It takes so much longer to get going. The loading time versus the Lowrance that I'm used to is much longer.
Yeah, and I've got it zoomed in.
Look here, you can already see those rocks, and look, there's a fish right there and a fish right there on the rocks directly to our left, which is where BJ's throwing his jig right now. It is a good picture. Look, so this is how this works. Well, there's something right out here in front of us. I don't know what that is.
Let's speed up the
Okay, so what BJ did is he just went in here and he hit this button here, which is right there, that button, and then that brings up this panel over here, and you can increase the speed that your 360 is spinning by that. That's basically like your ping speed on a traditional sonar. So now you can see that line's moving much faster. And as you can see, there's a rock pile right here. It's already scanned that, and there's something out here kind of right out in front of us, well, in the direction that it's pointing. That is what I've noticed, it's really cool, is as the nose of the boat shifts direction because we're spot locked, the stuff on the map switches direction, so you can easily see, okay, well, that's right there, I need to throw right there.
And Billy, what I can tell you about this 360, I've used it very little, I've just gotten it. What I can tell you have to do with it, every day and every lake's different. So you fish Athens, you got to get in there and back the contrast down a little bit. You come here to where we are today, you got to maybe up the sensitivity a little bit.
Because the water's a little dirtier.
You got to play with it a little bit to get the best picture.
Okay, okay. Do you mind if I zoom in on the distance of it a little bit?
You bet.
How do I get these how do I get it to where I'm only seeing, say, 75 feet?
You'll go to this same button, the Humminbird button, and then where it says range, you'll just tap that, and then you can use your little deal over here.
Oh, okay.
To come down to.
Very cool. All right, I got you. Let's go to 60 feet.
But that also changes your contrast and sensitivity. So the more zoomed in you get, you got to adjust those sensitivities and contrast to get your best picture.
That's really cool how, see, and I hit the trolling motor, knocks off spotlight, and as you move, it moves the image. That's really, really cool. You guys can see that one deal was right here, and now it's going to be somewhere over here. There it is over here. So as the boat angle changes, it's constantly moving with you. That's pretty darn cool. All right, so right now we're going to move on down this this stretch right here and look for our next rock pile. There's several big rock piles scattered on this stretch. So as you can see, it's taking away that rock pile. We're no longer on that rock pile anymore. Still not to the next one yet. Oh, there's the very beginning of the next one right there. Okay. Now it's right here, starting right here beside us, going forward. There we go. All right, we're kind of right in the middle of it. Big rock pile.
That's what's running. Let's go, Bill. Oh yeah, that's a big old good. You open that?
No. We just boat flipping, BJ. Nice chunk right there to start us off.
Good.
Using that 360, find them rock piles and drag a jig through it, and there's a good chunk right there, folks at home.
Did you see me duck?
I did. You knew it was coming.
I looked up, I saw your line moving. I'm like, oh hell.
There was some simultaneous recognition of what was about to happen there, because right about the time I was getting ready to reel down and set, you ducked. So
I knew you were about. I looked over at your line and it was running east and west. I thought, yeah, man could get knocked out with a rod.
Something's coming right here.
Something's figured out.
Get it with your drag.
Boy, he wanted that pumpkin red trailer, didn't he?
I was just asking you.
They wanted that trailer.
I was just arrested about that goofy
looking Billy just had some of those.
Yeah, oh yeah. Mine was bigger. Good one, brother. That's number 2 off our 360 rock pile here.
I was leaned up against his butt seat and all of a sudden, boop, and I went.
Dude, that was.
And when I got here, the rod went behind my head. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, that's nice. Oh, look at over here, wait, James.
Let's go, baby. That trailer is special.
It's that trailer. It must be the trailer. Good job, brother.
Look where that sucker's hooked.
I mean, right in the top of the dome piece. Eating that old jig. He's up here front end of me, folks.
Hey, that bass probably was fighting over whether he liked the red part of that trailer the best or the pumpkin seed part of that trailer the best. Or maybe it was the watermelon flake on the pumpkin seed side.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
That is a good one. That's a nice fish. Look at that.
That's a good one.
Look how he ate my jig.
He choked it.
That jig is the definition of gone, folks. Get it in there on that old rock pile. Get it done. We get it done. That's another chunk. Another good one. We ain't catching no babies on that jig, BJ.
No. That's a head there, Bill.
Good one. All right, we're looking for a brush pile. Pick it up on this go round, I would think. Yep, there's one right there, 2 right there, 3 right there. There's one now behind us. We've moved past it. Well, it's crazy how you can see the shadows off the brush. There's another one. Another little one there. There you go. All right in there. All right, so I've got the boat turned around facing into the wind so it holds steady. Got it on spot lock, and you can see here's our brush piles directly out in front of the boat right now. You can see just these little markings here. Those are brush piles. Oh God.
Is he in the brush?
Nope, he's not in the brush. Watch out, let me have this. I don't know how big he is, but he acted huge. He ain't small.
Good one.
He ain't small.
Don't flip it in here, Bill.
I'm about to. I gotta get him going the right direction. Let's go.
Come on in here.
Look how fat. God, look how fat that fish is. Holy cow, people. That sucker,
Golly.
that is as fat as it absolutely gets. I mean, it's obese, dude. This looks like me after pizza night, bro.
That's a pig.
This looks like me after pizza night. Holy crap. He's so fat. He's like deformed. Look at him from the back, y'all. His belly sticks out. He's got side belly.
Yeah.
You can see the sides of his belly there.
Pig.
Oh, man.
Fish isn't very long either.
No, that is a young fish. That with that kind of appetite
Yeah.
will likely be a dadgum stud. That's awesome.
That's awesome.
That is awesome. Wow. Hey, that 360 will find you some structure now.
You bet.
Oh, that's crazy. That's awesome. We got a pretty good tournament bag now, though, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what time it is, but we didn't get out here and get started fishing until about 12:30. Let's see what time. Anderson's phone says 2:11, folks. 2:11. So we've been out here for less than 2 hours.
Yeah.
And we got a 5-fish stringer. Dude, that's how quick that, hey, that's one thing about that 360. You just don't have any wasted cast. It seems like, you know, like when you can sit there and stare at that piece of equipment and know, okay, well, this rock pile is right here. Like every cast you make is right in the heart of the rock pile. Every cast that I'm making right now is right on these brush piles because I can see it on the graph on that 360. Yeah. So it's pretty handy.
Cool.
I'm pretty impressed. Well, unfortunately, we only got the one bite off of that set of brush piles, but hey, the 360 did its job. We were only out here for a couple hours, like we told you guys. We probably fished for another 30 minutes or so on that brush pile. No more bites. I'm actually gonna go ahead and take it off the water. We caught a heck of a 5-fish limit today, but now we're gonna go get off the water, get back in BJ's barn where he keeps his boat, and we're gonna do a full breakdown, a full review, show you guys all the functionality of the Humminbird 360 unit. All right, we're back here in the Christmas factory, also known as the Anderson boat barn, and we've got the Humminbird 360 Solix unit turned on, and BJ is going to help us go through some of the different settings because obviously I'm not a Humminbird guy, but BJ's been using this for a little while now. You're still pretty novice at it yourself, though, right?
Yeah, I am.
All right, put us on 360 there, Mr. BJ.
So you go to the home button, pulls up what we're at now, which is the views. You'll hit views and it gives you all the different deals and the combinations. You can scroll down, you can see some of the ones I've made or my favorites. Most of the time, I just go to 360.
So that's showing basically all the way out to the perimeter of the ring at 80 feet. Now, if we want to adjust how big our ring is, how do you do that?
These 3 lines on the side of the graph that's the Humminbird button. So you'll hit it, and this menu will pick up to the left side, and you'll go down to the range. Click it, and you can scroll back and forth there, or use this knob in the top right-hand corner of the Solixes to adjust that range up or down. I think today Billy likes to run his at 60 in his boat, so we put it at 60 in this boat.
I actually tried it at 60, and then for this, because this was so new to me, I moved it out to 80.
Oh, did you?
Yep, moved it out to 80. The ping speed, so to speak, you know, with sonar, ping is straight up and down, but with this 360, the ping goes around in a circle, and you increase the ping speed, and we ended up setting it on 4, but you were telling me if you set it to a lower speed, you get a clearer picture?
Yeah, if I'm running a bank, like maybe outside docks, I will increase that ping speed because I'm using the trolling motor, and basically I'm just trying to find brush piles or something people set up outside of docks, so I'll make it faster. As soon as I found it, I'll hit spot lock and I'll back off on that 360 speed, and it draws you a much clearer picture the slower speed it is. And you do that just by touching the 360 speed, and again, you can use your finger and go back and forth. I think it's easier to twist this dial. We can turn it down to 1 or turn it up to 6. I think today we had it somewhere around 3 or 4.
And then up here, it looks like we've also got sensitivity and contrast settings, which you played with a little bit today as well. So all the adjustments that you need to make. So for contrast, you just click that box, and then you can utilize that same knob to adjust that. Sensitivity, same thing, which I just knocked it down to -2, and I believe it was on 4. But as you can see, the settings that we were running today, we had our contrast on 5 and the sensitivity on 4, and that was giving us a really clear image, especially on those rock piles. Man, when we were on those rock piles, we could see every single rock, and even could see fish sitting outside of those rocks, and even at times on top of them. So
the difference that I've seen in the Humminbirds and the Lowrances that I had, the Carbons that I had, the Lowrances, once you set those graphs up for me, I didn't mess with them.
Right.
I just left them, and no matter if I was fishing Athens or Fork or Palestine or wherever, those settings were how you set them. This 360 to me is the first thing I've had to where every time you drop it in the water, you need to monkey with your sensitivity and contrast and sharpness.
Yeah, tweak it
to get it like it's not the same every time you go out.
Okay. Well, that's good info. Now, is there a way for you to get it to where we can see the entire ring on the screen? This button right here will bring up front, which is what BJ had selected was front, and that's the view you guys have seen us using. And that's probably the most practical view.
Yeah, that's what I wanted.
But if you want 360, it's the very top option right there. There you go. Now you can see the full 360 view.
And you can still zoom in off of, the full 360.
Right.
If you wanted to, still have a picture behind your boat.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, guys, there's all the functionality. That's how that thing operates, how you adjust all the settings on them. Now, we're going to go break down my personal full review after using the Humminbird 360 today.
Let's see if we can get a dogfight going on camera. Be some good B-roll. There we go. Here we go. Now it's on.
All right, guys, time for our honest review. I am not currently, nor have I ever been affiliated with Humminbird in any way whatsoever. I've owned a Humminbird before, many generations of graphs ago. Been with Lowrance for a long time, and I'm going to give you guys my honest opinion, unbiased, straight up and down. Went out and used it today. Went to a lake that we were both familiar with. I knew where some of those rock piles were. I knew where those brush piles were. But I wanted to see the detail and accuracy. The first thing that is the most impressive about the Humminbird 360 unit is it absolutely allows you to be more accurate than any other electronics unit that I've ever used, as far as you can clearly identify, easily and clearly. Anybody can see that rock pile. Anybody can see that brush pile and know exactly where it's sitting, because it shifts the rock pile's position based on the positioning of your boat. That's one thing that I really, really liked. You can see which angle your boat was pointing and where that was in relation to you. And every cast that we made, I never made a cast, I don't think you ever made a cast where we missed the rock pile.
Right.
And in past, when you drive by and you side image and you waypoint, you get set up on your waypoints, you tend to make some casts once in a while where you might miss the piece of cover.
Yeah.
That does happen. And the 360 completely eliminates that, because you can constantly see where that pile or where that object is in relation to your boat. I thought that was great. The detail, the imaging, Humminbird for a long time has had great side imaging. And essentially, the 360 is side imaging, just in a different view. A bird's eye 360-degree view. Very, very cool unit. Very, very neat. I was very impressed with it. Now, some of the drawbacks, and I want you to kick in on this because you've used it a lot more than I have. You've had it on your boat. But the loading speed, first of all, which not really a huge deal. But, man, when you crank that up, and you've had Lowrances in the past, when you crank that unit up, and Humminbirds, all Humminbird units that I've ever been around have been this way. It seems like it takes it forever from the time you push the power button until it's actually ready to use.
Yeah, they're both Solixes, the front and the back. And I was told the Helixes were kind of their staple that everybody used. And they came out with this Solix unit, I was told, because of a
Yes.
faster processing speed.
It was supposed to have a bigger,
Right.
better processor. Yeah.
And then the first thing you do is hit the power button on both those suckers, and you're waiting a while.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know the reasoning. If that's their faster one, I would hate to use their slower one, you know?
I know, and it is a very slow unit as far as that goes, and Hummingbirds have a reputation for that. And then the other thing that's it's not really necessarily a negative, because Hummingbird's the only one that has this 360-degree view side image type technology. But how long it takes for them to regenerate the picture? That's the one flaw I can see. Like, it is great about helping you be efficient and accurate and knowing exactly where your stuff is, but it scans that deal, and if the wind changes directions and your boat turns, you have to wait till that ping comes back around to see where that pile has moved in relation to your boat. And what you said, and accurately said, was the slower you turn that ping down, the more accurate of a picture you get. Well, man, we had it up on about 4. If we'd have cranked it down to 1, it'd take a while for it to get back around and show us that picture again. So there's a little bit of a hole in the technology there, to me, in my opinion, where that's something they can improve as time goes on, where that image regenerates at a faster speed without sacrificing image quality.
Yeah, I agree. There's more tinkering with 360. I find myself, when I'm by myself on a body of water, I'm always, like you're talking about, I'm looking for cover, and so I speed it up while I'm on my trolling motor. I find cover, spot lock, I slow it down.
Yeah.
I'm messing with the sensitivity, I'm messing with the contrast. I tinker more with that than I've tinkered with any unit in the past.
Correct. Yeah. In traditional units, you kind of get your settings dialed in, and that's what you roll
right,
with.
yeah.
And you don't have to do it with this. You have to constantly change it. But I will say that Hummingbird made, to me, leaps and bounds. One big knock that I always had on Hummingbird is anybody could plug in a Lowrance unit, turn it on, and go, and use it pretty darn effectively. Hummingbird has always been, man, to adjust any settings on it, or even to enter waypoints on Hummingbird units, has always been a pain in the butt. You couldn't label your waypoints. You didn't have different icon options to differentiate a rock pile from a brush pile, or a tree versus a fish. Or, you know, with Lowrance, you have all those different icons. And so the ease of function and how easy it is to use the unit at its max ability, Hummingbird always suffered in that category. Now, they have made leaps and bounds. To me, what we just showed the people about how to adjust the contrast and the sensitivity, the ranges, all that is much, much better than any Hummingbird I've used in the past. At the same time, it can still be a little bit not easy to use, because even you, who've been using that unit for a while, we had a hard time figuring out how to get back to your full 360 view today.
Yeah, and some of that's operator error, but I don't have any reservations in saying, with the little time I've had this boat and messed with these Hummingbirds, they're harder to use than the Lowrances, period.
Yeah, for sure.
They just are. And I know I'm not as familiar with Hummingbirds. I'm learning, but you've got to know how to punch around on that Hummingbird.
Like, there's things with a Hummingbird, no matter who you are, there's things with a Hummingbird, if you haven't used it, you're going to have to research how to use your unit and how to get the most out of your unit. You're going to have to, even if, just for the most simple of uses, because, you know, no offense, BJ, but you're a pretty laid-back dude when it comes to fishing. Like, you're not a go compete in a tournament guy. You're not a dude that's mad at them, as you said. You're not that mad at them. You're just wanting to be able to know what you're looking at under the water and catch some fish when you can, you know. And so you're probably not going to dive into near as much detail as most people will. And even for a guy like you, you've had to research how to use things. So the Hummingbird ease of functionality, to me, is still a negative. It's still a knock. All that being said, that 360 unit, the technology is very unique. The image is very unique as far as the angle and how it operates. And you can actually have accurate side imaging type shots at a standstill. You know, side imaging, if you're sitting still, doesn't give you anything. It shows you blurry lines. Right. But when you're rolling, side imaging is great when you're idling or whatever have you. Well, now you've got a unit that will give you great side image quality, bird's eye view, at a standstill. Man, that is a big, big deal. I think that's a huge deal. And I kind of think it is some technology that you do need to have on your boat if you're trying to be the best. In fact, you know, I'm doing all this, and I'm going to be doing a Garmin one, and I'm going to be doing a Lowrance one, and I'm trying to figure out what exact electronics units do I want set up on my boat? Because to me, it does matter. I've got to go compete against the fish every day. I don't necessarily sign up for a lot of tournaments, but it's my job to put my customers on the best fish possible. It's my job when I'm trying to film to catch the best fish possible. And so I need the best technology. I need all the best stuff, and I need to operate it at full capacity so that I get as many bites as I can. That's my job as a professional angler and fishing guide. So I think right now, will I have a 360 on my next boat? After today, it's easy to say yes, but I'm going to try and be the grounded one and go maybe for now. I'm thinking there's a very good chance that I will, but I want to get a look at all the other technology that's available before I make that decision.
It's changed the way I fish. I used to be a trolling motor guy. I'd put the boat in the water. Whatever I was doing that day, I'd get on the trolling motor and cover water. And that's just how I was raised, and I'm comfortable doing that. I stare at that 360. I find what I want to fish, and I guess with the spotlight combined, that 360 and that spotlight have changed how I fish.
Yes.
I've become more of a kind of a spot guy, where I find where I want to fish, and I stare at that 360 until I get kind of my mind right where I'm supposed to be, and then I hit spotlight to go fishing.
Well, it's a lot like what we referred to when we were out on the lake. It's about keeping your bait in the most likely position to get a bite for a higher percentage of the day. If you can see that structure, you can keep casting to that structure. You know that's a higher percentage area than throwing in a do-nothing area that doesn't have anything there. So, of course, and for sure, technology and all these electronics are 1,000% changing the way all of us fish, even on the professional level, all the way down to the, just a guy like yourself that likes to, you go fishing, you take your kids fishing, and you guys are out having fun. But these electronics are changing the way all of us fish.
I will bring up this. This is something I want to learn more about, and I'll be asking you next time we're out to help if we're on a different lake. I've had it in grass and have not. I either don't know what I'm looking at, or I haven't had a lot of luck. I was on Athens looking at an edge of a grass line in, 8 to 10 foot of water off a point. And I thought, man, this thing's going to be beautiful because you're going to be able to rock yourself up there.
Yeah.
It's going to do its little circle deal, find the edge for you. I need to practice that, or I need to change my settings, or something needs to change to make the grass picture better. I didn't get the fuzzies like I did with these rocks, and like I've done with brush piles before. I didn't get the same confidence with it with grass. I just, to me, your side imaging, it's hard to beat, first of all.
Yeah.
I didn't get that same side imaging picture where you could see that wall of grass like I thought I was going to get with it.
That'll be interesting. Yeah, we need to get out there and do that. I would be interested to see that as well. So, well, man, I hope this helps you guys, and hopefully as we go through this series, looking at different electronics, maybe this will help some of you guys make the decision on which electronics you want to go with. I know that's my whole purpose in doing this, is to make sure that I have the very best technology on my boat to catch as many fish as possible. So, man, we appreciate you watching this. I'm really glad that you did this with me, BJ, because you're, like we've said, you're just a guy that goes fishing. You're not a real big tournament guy. You're not a real competitive guy in the fishing part of the world. You just want to go put your kids on some fish, and you want to set the hook a few times and have a good day.
And I bet we get some comments, I bet you get some comments of guys saying a lot of the things that I'm bringing up are, I don't know what I'm doing yet with it. And that's what I'm hoping. I'm going to watch the video, and if people comment on it and say, hey, all you got to do is this and this to make it better, that'd be great.
Even better.
I like it so far. It's fun.
It is fun. It is fun. It's as an overall very, very good unit, very impressive. I am leaning towards having one on my next boat right now, but I'm going to hold my decision until I look at all the different types that are out there and then make the decision based on that. So, hey, we appreciate you guys watching. BJ.
Thanks, pal.
Thank you. We caught some good ones today.
Yeah, it's fun.
Caught a few heads today. Good tournament bag in a couple hours, and hope you guys enjoyed it. And we appreciate y'all watching, and we'll see you next time right here on Your Lake Fork Guide.